Okay, so I need to tell you guys about probably the dumbest mistake I made this month and how it actually turned into one of the best discoveries I've had in a while. So I'm on the Under Armour website, right? It's like midnight. I've been researching these Charged Verssert 2s because everyone's talking about them. 65 bucks, looks decent. And I'm half asleep, not paying attention, and I order my normal size, 10.5. Package arrives 3 days later. I'm excited. I rip it open, and I don't know, something feels off immediately. I try them on, and they're tight, like really tight. My toes are basically kissing the front of the shoe. And I'm sitting there thinking, did Under Armour change their sizing or something? Because I've worn UA shoes before and never had this issue. So naturally, I'm about to box them back up, print the return label, the whole deal. But then Marcus shows up. You guys know Marcus? He's that friend who's run like 8 marathons and thinks he knows everything about running shoes. And he sees the box and goes, dude, before you send those back, just walk around in them for like an hour. And I'm like, Marcus, they don't fit. They're too small. My toes are literally compressed. But he gives me this look, this very serious look, and says, just trust me on this one. Sometimes shoes surprise you. And honestly, I thought he was being ridiculous, but I respect the guy's experience, so I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll wear them around the house for an hour before I send them back. So here's where it gets interesting. I'm wearing these shoes, just walking around my apartment, checking emails, doing dishes, and after about 20 minutes, something starts to change. The heel counter, which felt like a vice grip at first, starts to soften up a bit. The materials are giving. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's something here. Fast forward an hour, and I'm not in pain anymore. They're still snug, don't get me wrong, but they're not uncomfortable. But here's the thing, though. I still thought they were too small for running. So the next day, I decide to take them out for a test run. Just 3 miles, nothing crazy, around Central Park, my usual route. And I'm expecting my toes to be screaming by mile 2. But you know what happened? Plot twist coming. They actually felt pretty good. Not amazing for running, but good. The cushioning system, this charged cushioning thing they have, it's like, okay, how do I describe this? It's like walking on a really thick carpet. Not bouncy, like those racing shoes with the carbon plates, but just this plush, absorbing comfort that handles impact really well. I get back from the run and I'm confused, because on one hand, they're definitely too small for what I'd want in a serious running shoe, but on the other hand, they felt way better than I expected. So I text Marcus, and I'm like, dude, you were right about something being different with these shoes, but I think they're still the wrong size. And he texts back immediately, did you actually check the reviews about sizing? And that's when I do what I should have done before ordering. I actually read the customer reviews thoroughly, and literally everyone is saying the same thing. Size up half a size, these run small, I had to exchange for a full size bigger. I'm reading through these reviews and I'm realizing I'm not crazy. Under Armour just made these shoes run smaller than their normal sizing for some reason. But here's where the story takes another turn. Because I'm stubborn, right? Instead of returning them immediately and ordering the right size, I decide to just keep wearing them. But not for running. I start wearing them for everything else. Gym sessions, walking the dog, running errands, even wore them to casual Friday at work. And over the next 2 weeks, something unexpected happens. These become my favorite shoes. Not for running, but for literally everything else. Let me back up for a second and explain what I mean. The ripstop upper with these suede overlays, which I initially thought was just a design choice, turns out to be incredibly durable. I'm talking, these materials feel premium, way more premium than 65 bucks should get you. After 8 weeks now of wearing these things constantly, the upper still looks almost new. No fraying, no weird creasing, the suede details still look fresh. For 65 bucks, that's honestly impressive. But let's talk about the real limitations, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend these shoes are perfect. First off, that sizing issue is real and it's annoying. If you order these, you need to size up at least half a size, maybe a full size. I'm a true 10.5 in most shoes, and I really should have gotten an 11 or 11.5 in these. Second thing, they run warm. Not unbearable, but in hot weather, your feet are going to get warmer than they would in a mesh-heavy shoe. I tested these in Miami in July, 85 degrees with stupid humidity, and while they weren't terrible, they definitely weren't as breathable as I'd want for hot weather running. Actually, wait, let me tell you about the gym thing, because this is where I realized what these shoes actually are. So I'm at the gym doing squats, and normally I wear flat shoes for that, right? But I had these on because I came straight from work. And the heel stability on these is actually really good for lifting. The platform is firm enough that you're not wobbling around, but there's still enough cushioning that when you're done with weights and jump on the treadmill, your knees aren't getting hammered. I just realized something while talking about this. Under Armour marketed these as running shoes, but that's not really what they made. What they actually created is this versatile lifestyle trainer that can handle running if you need it to, but really shines at everything else. And I think that's why the sizing thing threw me off so much. I approached these expecting a performance running shoe, so the snug fit felt wrong. But if you think of them as a lifestyle shoe that happens to be athletic, that tighter fit actually makes more sense for all-day wear. Okay, so picture this scenario. You're someone who goes to the gym 3, maybe 4 times a week. You do some cardio, some weights, maybe a class here and there. You walk your dog every morning. You work a job where you're on your feet a fair amount. You want one pair of shoes that can handle all of that without looking like you're training for a marathon when you're just grabbing coffee. That's who these shoes are actually for. This reminds me of something that happened last week. I was at the gym and this guy comes up to me and asks me what shoes I'm wearing because he noticed I wore them for the entire workout. Treadmill, weights, everything. And I tell him about the Verssert 2s, and he's like, "But aren't those running shoes?" And I'm like, "Technically yes, but actually no. They're lifestyle shoes that can run, not running shoes that you can live in. There's a difference." Here's what I'm thinking as I'm saying this. The biggest mistake Under Armour made with these shoes wasn't the sizing or the weight or any of the specs, it was the marketing. If they had called these all-day trainers or lifestyle performance shoes instead of just running shoes, people would understand what they're getting. Because at 10.4 ounces, these are too heavy for serious running. When I tried to do tempo runs, anything under 7-minute mile pace, the cushioning felt too soft and unresponsive. But for casual runs at 8 to 9-minute pace, perfectly fine. You guys are probably wondering about the durability by now, right? So after 8 weeks, 45 plus sessions, including runs, gym work, daily wear, I'm seeing minimal wear on the outsole. The lugged rubber they use is holding up really well on concrete and asphalt. The ripstop fabric hasn't torn or frayed at all. Even the suede overlays, which I thought might get beat up quickly, still look good. For $65, that's honestly impressive. But let's talk about the real limitations, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend these shoes are perfect. First off, that sizing issue is real and it's annoying. If you order these, you need to size up at least half a size, maybe a full size. I'm a true 10.5 in most shoes, and I really should have gotten an 11 or 11.5 in these. Second thing, they run warm. Not unbearable, but in hot weather, your feet are going to get warmer than they would in a mesh-heavy shoe. I tested these in Miami in July, 85 degrees with stupid humidity, and while they weren't terrible, they definitely weren't as breathable as I'd want for hot weather running. The other thing, and this is important, do not wear these for court sports. I'm serious about this. One person in the reviews mentioned breaking their ankle playing paddle in these, and I totally understand why. The relatively high platform, combined with all that cushioning, means you don't have the lateral stability you need for basketball, tennis, anything with quick direction changes. These are strictly for forward motion activities. I probably should have mentioned earlier, but the heel counter situation does get better. Out of the box, it felt like wearing a ski boot. After about 15 to 20 hours of wear, it softens considerably. By the time you hit 30 or 40 hours, they're fully broken in and incredibly comfortable. So don't judge them on first wear. Here's the honest truth about value. At $65, if you're looking at these purely as running shoes, they're decent but not exceptional. There are lighter, more responsive options at this price point. But if you're looking at them as versatile lifestyle trainers that can handle your active life, they're actually an excellent deal. The materials alone feel like they should be on a $100 shoe. The ripstop, the suede, the cushioning system, it all feels premium. Let me break this down for you. If you're a serious runner, logging 25+ miles per week, these aren't for you. If you need shoes primarily for speed work or racing, look elsewhere. If you play court sports requiring lateral stability, hard pass. But if you're a lifestyle athlete, someone who's active but not competitive, someone who needs one versatile shoe for gym, casual runs, and daily life, these might be exactly what you need. The perfect customer for these shoes is probably like my friend Jake. He goes to the gym 4 times a week, does a mix of cardio and weights, occasionally goes for a 3 to 5 mile run at a relaxed pace, works a job where he's on his feet a fair amount, and wants one pair of shoes that don't look too athletic when he's not. For Jake and people like him, the Charged Verssert 2 at $65 is honestly a steal. One more thing I want to mention, the colorways matter more than you'd think. I tested the brown tan colorway with the suede details, and it's genuinely attractive. Not gym-only shoes. You can actually wear these casually, and they look good. Some of the other colorways lean more athletic, so if the lifestyle versatility matters to you, pay attention to which color you're getting. So circling back to where I started, that midnight purchase mistake turned into discovering a shoe that's now in my regular rotation, just not for what I originally intended. And that wrong size that almost got returned, I kept it. I'm wearing them right now, actually. Yeah, they're a bit snug, but for casual wear and gym sessions, they work. Though I did order a size 11 for actual running because, let's be real, you need that extra room for longer distances. Bottom line, if you're looking for a comfortable, versatile, well-built shoe around $65 that can handle your active lifestyle without being a serious performance running shoe, the Under Armour Charged Verssert 2 is absolutely worth considering. Just remember to size up, give them time to break in, and don't expect race day performance. Think of them as your reliable daily driver, not your sports car.